Hey, 7:07 a.m. I'm following up from the last video. Not to talk about weird families or anything like that. Not my family. I don't consider them family, but you know what I mean. Not to talk about that, but I'm just saying is today is actually a really good day. Like, I feel happy, even though, that earthquake thing kind of bugged me a little bit. I'm going to tell you, it did kind of bug me, okay? It did. Only because, I thought the shit was over yesterday. And it kind of caught me off, by surprise, especially, because at the time and it was in the evening and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not prepared for an earthquake. I mean, I'm not, I have, a few things, but it's like, I'm not. And I know there's so many warnings. They talk about, preparing for emergencies and stuff like that. I feel guilty about saying it, but I really should be more prepared for stuff like that, but I'm just not, Of course, I couldn't sit there and line my pantry with a bunch of food because, I'm on a limited budget. And why is Miranda on a limited budget? Because she was gang stalked. But anyway, we know that. So I was thinking, I don't know. I try to switch up these music stations, Like, I've been subscribing to Pandora for, I realized, probably since 2009 or 2010, maybe even, somewhere around there. And, it's like background noise for me, but they play a lot of the same songs over and over again, and even on different stations, they'll throw in different songs, which is another thing about Pandora, when it comes to certain genres and stuff, sometimes they throw things together, and I'm like, how in the world can these genres be considered the same? Like, they'll throw them on the same channel. And I'm like, I don't think so. Although, there are some stations I do enjoy listening to on Pandora. But seriously, though, I think a lot of their content is pretty much the same. So, and then I've tried AccuRadio. And I also have this thing called Shout Out Radio also on my little service plan, or whatever you want to call it. I have that. And then, as everyone knows, because, when you're gang stalked and you actually buy something, that you can actually put to use, you make a video about it. Not to brag, but you're so fucking amazed that you actually got it because you've been gang stalked. You've been gang stalked, and you're surprised you can ever have anything. But anyway, yeah, my laptop. So when I placed the order for it, I somehow inadvertently signed up for this Prime thing, this Amazon Prime, and so I apparently, they've done this before in the past, where I've actually contacted Amazon, so I got a refund back. But now I decided, okay, you know what? I got rid of some of my services, And I kept thinking, I got rid of my services about a month or so ago. Some of them, okay? The ones that I wasn't really using, and I saw no point in hanging on to them, so I just let them go. So I said, okay, you know what? Maybe Amazon Prime isn't so bad. I know my son said he liked Amazon Prime, and I kept thinking, okay, well, I'll give it a try, So I'm like, okay, fine, okay, I'll pay which was before $12.99, it's now 14 something, okay, and I'm like, damn, okay, what do I get? Okay, I think I get free shipping on certain things, which I'm not going to really be doing any more buying anymore, because I don't really need anything. I think I needed, certain things, like I needed a microwave, which I got, and I got the bed, and I got, my computer and all this other stuff. So I'm fine. I can't think of anything else I need. Now, some, person who's spoiled with all kinds of weird stuff that, like little knickknacks, they'd probably come to my house and like, well, you don't have this, you don't have that. I don't know. Okay. I probably don't even know it exists. Okay. I have no knowledge of such things, I have enough in my mind, seriously, I do. So I don't really need to be buying anything major anymore, right? But, I know that Amazon Music has this little station here, so I was like kind of freaked out about, using it, even though I've read that, it's a part of the subscription, like, if you subscribe to Prime, then you get, access to all these songs, My concern is, like, what if I was like playing some songs on, Amazon Music, And then they started charging my cars like, $1.99 is one thing, but if I sat there the entire evening just listening to this, how do I know that they're not going to sit here and like, charge me for that, So I'm going to have to do some research on this because I'm getting like really nervous. And I know it sounds stupid, but when you're like gang stalking your unlimited budget, you got to be concerned about stuff like that, So anyway, but I did listen to some songs on Amazon Music yesterday, and some of them are the same songs that they play on all of them, So it makes me wonder, I don't need, if it's a part of the package for Amazon Prime, then I'm okay. I mean, there are some other things that Amazon Prime offers, that I'm kind of interested in, so I see that there's a benefit to it. But, we'll see. As we go down the road, if I decide to get rid of it, maybe I will. Who knows, I do like listening to music. I just don't want to be charged for everything because there's some albums on there, right? And I know I have purchased things like before, like I have 3 years ago, I downloaded some music with Amazon Music, and I have some things that, like some albums on there, which I paid for, okay? But they're allowing you to listen to these albums. I'm like, okay, if I listen to this album, is it the same? It's not, I hope it's not the same, okay? And that's why I'm getting all antsy and stuff, But anyway, it's a good Saturday morning. And I was thinking, when I feel like in a good mood, I think of that little song that Mr. Rogers used to sing, that Good Feeling song, which is kind of funny. But, I'm not one of those people who are like so into celebrities. Like, I could give a shit. Even some of the celebrities that I would say that I kind of admire, I don't really give a shit about their personal life. I don't. Okay, I enjoy them while they're on the screen. That's another difference between me and most people. Like, some people, when I was younger, I mean, I had my share of fascinations with stars, okay, where I had them posters of them on my bedroom wall and stuff. And I kind of idolized them to a certain degree, which I think is a very normal thing for kids to do. But some people, they're into celebrity gossip and all this stuff. I know my mom, when I was growing up, used to get the Star and the Enquirer, and she was like, she would give me I think it was like 45 cents for each or something. I don't remember, but she would like, hey, you go, she would have this little grocery list and send me off to the grocery store, and I had to bring back that Star and the Enquirer, and she would talk about these people as if they were our next door neighbor. It's like, it's crazy. I just thought, that was another thing in the back of my mind. I don't want to be one of those people who give a shit about what celebrities do. I don't care. Although, sometimes it's unavoidable because, you're on your Yahoo page or maybe whatever page that you go to get your email, and they'll splash something on there. And, because I have nothing else to do, I have been reading some of them, and some of these new stars, I mean, I don't listen to their music or anything like that, but I have no other choice but to know who these people are because they're in my face all the time. I don't know the difference between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, and quite frankly, I don't care. But I will say they resemble each other, kind of, which is kind of strange. I do have this like thing about Hollywood, and not Hollywood, but just celebrities in general. With these plastic surgeries and stuff, all these people are all becoming the same face. They are all, their faces are starting to all look the same to me, I remember watching this talk show with a bunch of women on there, and on the panel there was like, different women from different ethnic backgrounds, okay? That's kind of the thing right now where they want to represent all these different people. So they had a black chick, they had a Asian chick, they had like a Hispanic chick, and then of course, white chick, and all these people are on the panel. But their faces were so like plastic surgery had made their faces to where they pretty much looked the same, kind of like a Barbie doll or a baby doll mold, same face but just different skin coloring. And I was like, damn, I'm not bashing people who get plastic surgery, but it seems like they should be able to make, if you're gonna get like a rhinoplasty or something, shouldn't they be able to make slight variations of the nose? Or are these noses that they're instructed to make, or they're allowed to make through like maybe certain agencies that govern these doctors that have certain standards? Don't they have the ability to make slight variations in these noses and the when they have facelifts and stuff? Don't they have the ability to do something different than the same thing? because I see molds of the same person all the time. It's quite strange. Okay, but anyway, back to Mr. Rogers. I was thinking, how, some celebrities, like, they get, like, when people were talking about Michael Jackson and his scandal, people were getting all upset about it because they had this emotional attachment to Michael Jackson. And don't get me wrong, I couldn't help to have a slight, um, heartfelt feeling for Michael Jackson because he's been around all my life. Like, I remember listening to his songs when I was a kid. I remember my oldest sister had a Jackson 5 album. And I remember watching them dance and their dance routines, and I remember his Off the Wall album was like, really, it was very good, very good. And I used to love dancing anyway when I was a kid, and I would roller skate and dance to his music, So when he died, I mean, it was upsetting to me a little bit, only because it's like, you hear that, it's just like, I don't know, it's like they're kind of a part of you in a weird, strange way, a little bit. But even when they were bashing him, I was like, well, who the fuck knows? Maybe he is guilty, maybe he's not, okay? And I like his music. I kept it all separate, whatever, But I would get kind of vicious if some people started digging into Fred Rogers' shit and started slandering him. I kind of would, okay? I guess it's because Mr. Rogers, to me, I have a soft spot for Mr. Rogers, okay? I do, and I don't want anybody talking shit about it. But anyway, yeah, I love him. Maybe my love of cardigan sweaters comes from Mr. Rogers. Who knows, But anyway, it's a good feeling today. I mean, I just feel happier today. I feel like, or maybe it has something to do with I don't really have shit to do. I ran all my errands yesterday. I got food to make for today's meal, which is going to last me for a few days. I don't have to go out anywhere, which is good, On those days where I can stay home, I'm fine with it. There's really I get tired of going to the grocery store. It's the same shit every single few many days or whatever. It's like I go to this place, it's just a routine, okay? And I'm sick of the goddamn routine. I hate the routine. I know it's necessary and it's stuff I have to get out of the way, but it's not fucking fun, okay? It's not fun. So I would prefer to shake it up a little bit, but I just don't know how. I don't know how to shake up my routine. It's kind of sad. But, I guess I will work on my little projects here. I've got little things scheduled in my calendar, my little calendar that I have, which I'm trying to set goals for myself. Like, this week, coming week, I'm going to schedule a time to do my PowerPoint, and then I'm going to be doing certain things on schedule because I don't want to make excuses. Yeah, I'm feeling bad. I've got to somehow pull myself out of this. I don't have the depression is very hard for me, but it's like I also realize I have to try harder. I'm the kind of person, if I write something on a calendar, there's some sort of, I don't know how it fires off in anyone else's brain, but it fires off something in my brain. It's like, it makes me feel like somebody's putting a gun to my head and I have to goddamn do it. I have to do it. So it's a motivating thing for me, and I don't like to skip days. I'm not one of those people who schedule something and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and set this back for another day. I like to take care of my stuff. And I like online calendars. Yes, that's one of those technology things, but I do like them, okay? In the past, I used to have the paper ones, but what I like about them is that they're very handy. And I like the fact that you can set reminders for yourself or whatever. I like that. Those calendars are very, very useful to me. And like I said, I like technology to a certain degree. I'm just not obsessed with them. And I certainly do see some benefits to them, They help me stay on track. I appreciate that. Like, when somebody tells me something to do at work, I can assign it. If it's something reoccurring, I can assign that on my calendar. I love that. And in my personal life too, whatever I need to do, I've got that calendar, and I like it. Now, the bad part about that is that, when things get crappy, like I had a laptop before and I kind of relied on, on using that. And then when my laptop broke, I was pretty screwed, But luckily, like, things like Google, Yahoo, Outlook, all these email providers or whatever you want to call it, they, you can still access your calendar from another device if you needed to. So that's very helpful. I do like that. But what if you had no access to the internet at all? See? So I do still see a point in having, things that are written down on paper. I do. I still think paper is still good. It's still useful, I'm in a talkative mood today. That's why I came back and made another video. I just wish I had someone interesting to talk to, So I'm chatty right now. I'm feeling really chatty, which is a good thing. Who knows what tomorrow will bring, but right now I need to start learning how to take things as they come, little by little. It's better for me because I'm trying to what really does deserve like medical attention or professional attention. Like I said, when you're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, when you're dealing with the constant psychological trauma, and you're dealing with what happened, I would say, if somebody was actually qualified to give you, and don't just give you drugs to cover it up, like these antidepressants and stuff. That's just a cover up for it. How do you nip the issue, and how do you deal with it? Okay, it's hard. It's very hard. Okay, I don't think talking about it to somebody who's getting paid is really going to help me much. But still, I do realize that people who are in this issue or who've dealt with this issue do have serious problems. They do. Okay, it wipes out so much of a person. So, I have to somehow figure shit out on my own. Like, how am I going to do all these things? I need to get myself back up. I don't like the way things are right now. And so I have to take responsibility somehow. I'm not, I've never dealt with this sort of trauma before. So it's been going on for a very long time. And I need to figure out, experiment with things. How do I get myself back to feeling? Number one, I want these people out of my life. I want them out of my life. Okay, I feel extremely disturbed by who these people are. There is no way in the world that I would ever want to associate myself with somebody who behaves that way. Okay, and that is something I'm very firm about. I choose certain people in my life. I have the right to choose. I have the right to be choosy, and so do you. I mean, anybody should be able to choose. They don't settle for people who you don't give a shit about. Don't bring garbage into your life, and if you have some say over it, then say so, So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I just feel like so happy today, but I'm going to have to get dressed eventually, and I'm not sure if I'm going to step outside or not. I do enjoy the sunlight, but I don't want to get, too hot outside, so we'll see what I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.